What we have here is a paintless dent repair unboxing and tutorial. I've never used one of these before, but I'm going to take it out of the box and attempt to use it on this car. I became a fan of paintless dent repair when I took my work truck into a body shop. I had just gotten it a couple of years ago, and they had a technician there that was able to remove every dent and every panel all the way around and make it look like a brand new truck. Impressive. And just like that, the box is open. Hey, there's not very much in here. What we have here is a hammer kit that has some kind of plastic rubber hammer thing. We have a 45-piece paintless dent removal kit. Has the glue and the little tabs and some kind of tool that's supposed to help pull the dents out. And this is an LED light that has stripes on it that's supposed to make it easy to spot in the paint's reflection whether you've got your body straight or not. I'll just familiarize you with this car to start with. It has a few dents in it. I bought this in '99 and I used to drive it a lot in '99 and 2000. In the year 2000 it was in two different hailstorms. When I drove it to work, there's some dents right there. It's got a couple of hood dents. There is a dent or two in the top. I've got 4 dents in this area right here. I think there's one on the trunk lid, and then I've got one on the fender, I think. Anyhow, we'll give it a whirl. Okay, I've opened up the first box that was in the box, and this is the Shenzhen Glisten Technology Company, probably China's finest. This is an Amazon kit. I'll give you a link in the description below should you want to buy one of these cheap looking kits. Anyhow, there are some hot glue sticks. There is a hot glue gun. This is a thing that will be used to pop the tabs up to bring the dented areas up. This is a plastic scraper you use to scrape off the tabs. These are the tabs I'm talking about. They're in different sizes. There's large and small, medium. There's also this little dent puller thing, which the demos I've seen, no one uses this. Plus you have all these different size scrapers, lifters, and pullers if you need them. And there's a little spray bottle for something, haven't read the directions yet. And a cloth to wipe off marks that you make on the car, indicating where the dents are you're going to be pulling. I know nearly nothing about this, but I'm going to try it. You can watch. Okay, now I've opened up one of the other boxes that was in the box. This is supposed to be an LED light panel, which has stripes on it, which you can see in the reflection of the car once you turn it on, whether your panels are straight or not. This comes with a USB 12-volt power input and also has some kind of dealie where you can bend it and suction cup it to your car. And you put this one on the back of the thing, and we'll see how that works. Another thing to examine in this kit would be this hammer kit. Of course, it says made in China, so I'm leery of this already. Although it includes a little bitty hammer, it has a plastic end and a plastic rubbery end designed to smash the dents back down should you get them up too high. It also includes this little thing that you use to hammer it back down in a variety of tips and different shapes. So I can't wait to get started hammering all over this thing. However, I have a much better idea. I'm going to practice on this junk car hood. This one has rusty edges, and this was the former hood I had on my car. It was in the hailstorms and has a majority of the dents on it. This old junk car hood is rusted out. Top, bottom, edges, sides. Let's just say for the sake of discussion we had a hail dent right there. And we're going to see if this kit will pull it out. Well, first thing I learned in testing this on this old car hood, I've got this light panel here that's supposed to let me see lines in the reflection on the hood to see exactly where the little dent is I made. But this old hood has absolutely no shine to it whatsoever. It's flat, it's dirty, and I'm not going to be able to use this light panel at all. It's on. It's fully on. And you can't really see anything. And I'm not even out here in a bright day. It's very overcast. In fact, we're probably about to have a hailstorm out here today at any time. Continuing this farce demonstration, I had a little problem with the hot glue gun. I could not get the element to heat up, whatever I did. I was checking my power, making sure everything was okay, and then I noticed, oh, this gun is a little different. It has a tiny, look at that cute little switch right there. Tiny little rocker switch. Oop. It's on. Let's see if it's getting hot. Yeah, it's getting warm. Okay. The first order of business will be to take this little plug thing, and I'm going to put some hot glue on this. It has little dots so the glue can kind of stick in there, and then you glue it to that spot. You give it however much time, and then you try to pull it off with one of the pulling tools and see if the dent comes out. Okay, so I've just used the hot glue gun to put a little glue on that little thing, and then I stuck it down. I'm going to let a minute or two go by. I guess it only took about 1 minute for this to adhere. In fact, if I go and try to lift this up, I could almost lift the car hood off the ground if I was strong enough. That is really stuck down. So I'm going to take this tool and put it over this little plug. And the idea is all I have to do is crank this up, and you watch the metal come up. And it's supposed to pull this off, and the metal will be pulled back up again. We'll see about that. So the next order of business is to take this plastic scraper and scrape the hot glue off there, and marvel at how flat the hood is where once there was a dent. It looks like the scraper does a pretty good job pulling the glue off without scratching the paint, because the plastic is softer than anything. Also, I'm doing an upward motion on it as I scrape it off. Feels very flat to me. I know my phone camera sucks, so you probably can't tell, but that is absolutely flat. It actually took out that little dent I put in it. Actually, I'll take that back. But if you look at that dent, it's still there. And it's kind of deep. And I'm going to try a smaller plug, I guess, or a smaller tab, and try to pull that again. Okay, now I'm looking at this LED light again. Experimentally, I have attached it to my old car hood with the suction cups, and there's a suction cup on the back of it that's supposed to hold it. In reading the reviews on this thing, I learned that these come unattached from your vehicle quite often, which can be a problem if it falls on your vehicle, because for one, these edges, they're hard plastic and they're razor sharp. And I just envision this thing could accidentally fall onto the car and gouge up the paint pretty bad. See what it's already done to my old hood? Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to take this tape and preemptively tape the edges of this light all the way around. In case it does contact the good car paint, it won't scrape it or scratch it up. Pretty sure this may fall off. Although those suction cups are sticking pretty good so far. In testing, boom. Okay, here we are. I have now set up this light. I've taped the edges, so now I don't feel so bad if I set it down on the top of the car. The hard, sharp edges won't scratch. And I've got it hooked up to this magnet thing, which is certain to fall at some point. I've marked off a place where there's a hail dent, and now that I've moved the car in the garage, you can see the variation in the stripes there. And if I move this around, you can see where that little dent is. Every time I wax the car, it just kind of bugs me. Wish it wasn't there. Although, what I do like to do, if you own an old car, you should not try to overly preserve it. You should drive and enjoy. In fact, I've always been not afraid to use up the car, then restore it. Learn how to put it back into original condition if you can. Don't be afraid to drive it and enjoy it. I've always said that it's a shame to try to preserve it for the next guy. When you've only got one life to live, drive and enjoy. Don't live in fear of getting a scratch or a dent or whatever. Right there. Now I'm going to take this tool and stick it over the dent, and I have hot glued that little thing on there, and I'm going to squeeze it, popped it off, and then we will see if that took out the dent to any degree. No, it did not. Trying it again. You can still see the variation in the stripe there. I have glued on another tab. I was reading the Chinese instructions. They call this the golden dent lifter. Let's see, I'm going to squeeze on the handle and gently pull that up. Came up all of a sudden. My dent gone. Now I see a little variation in the stripes here. It seems to be slowly lifting up. I'm going to try that another time or two. Nice. I think I can also operate this by well, I've got the tab on there, and there's a handle on top of here. I'm going to slowly turn that and see if that adds any more drama to the proceedings. Maybe it pulls. There it went. It sounded like something broke, but I'm sure it didn't. Do you see a dent? Is this straight now? It's getting there. Now we're ready for another pull. I'm going to squeeze on the handle. Look at the stripes. Is it straight? Ready for another pull. I think this is my 4th or 5th one. I'm going to slowly squeeze the handle and see what happens. Now look at the stripes where I pulled that off. See if it still looks wavy. There's some hot glue right there. Getting fairly straight. Still trying out some paintless dent repair for the first time today. I got a pretty nice kit through Amazon, and I've got this LED stripe light that makes it easy to see where your dents are. I've just glued on this odd shaped puller because my dent has kind of a line through the middle of it, and I just put glue right in the middle of that. I'm slowly pulling it right now. They're straighter every time I pull it. It's probably the 5th or 6th time I pulled it. This car had a 20-year-old paint job on it when I bought it in '99. At the time my plans were to repaint it in the first year or two, but that never happened. Here we are in 2020 and just kind of polished it up, buffed it out. I'm taking out some hail dents to make it look a little better. Can't afford to paint the whole car. This time I used a long shaped plug. Looking a lot better. This dent removal kit also includes some large size pieces, and I've got a dent in the hood here that's about like that. It's probably the largest area that I've got. I do have a little hail dent here on the trunk. I just now hot glued that pin on there, and I'm getting ready to pull this one on the roof again. This may be the last time I pull this one. This one has gotten surprisingly straight, and I'm using a one that is wide. I'm going to wipe it off with this cloth because the hot glue makes kind of a dull area.